Hey, everybody. So, Brent Key has taken over and immediately makes some changes to the staff. Now, this is a little bit old news. He did this the very first day that he took office, I guess you would say. I've been meaning to get to this video, but of course, I've been just busy. But Brent Key came in and immediately fired several people, including offensive coordinator Chip Long, wide receivers coach Del Alexander, and strength and conditioning coach Lou Caralla. Now, I'm not really surprised on the wide receiver and offensive coordinator firing, but the strength and conditioning coach caught me off guard. Lou's been here for a while, and I thought he was doing a pretty good job. I always like to see, he films himself like walking around campus, and he has these like inspirational videos and everything. And from what I've heard, he's a very good inspirational speaker and everything like that. But word on the street is that his strength and conditioning were to get toned and get a beach body rather than what is best for football. So who knows? That's just the rumor. But I have faith in Brent Key that he knows what's best for the school and everything. Even if it is sad, I did like Lou Caralla. But it is hard to kind of tell. That's like something that you really only know if you're within the program. You know what I mean? The strength and conditioning coach. So it's hard to tell about, what from the outside, how that kind of evaluate that position. Hopefully we get somebody in here who can maybe prevent some injuries, specifically quarterback, because we've had so many issues with quarterback. I don't know. So hopefully we can get really good staff together. The details of Brent Key's contract are unknown. So as far as who he's going to be, hiring and how much we can pay them and how good of quality of coaches we can get is kind of up to be seen, because we don't know the terms of Brent Key's contract, and so we're not going to be able to tell how much the money the school has. We're not overloaded with money, so we can't just go around paying all our assistants whatever it is. So we'll have to see about who he does hire. But, yeah, he also fired Chip Long, the offensive coordinator, which, I mean, he came into a little bit of a tough situation, but our offense was pretty awful this year. And word on the street is that even in the last two games, which were the North Carolina and Georgia games, in which the team played really well, the word on the street is that Chris Winkie was calling the plays, which that is our quarterback's coach. So Chris Winkie calling the plays, not a good look for the offensive coordinator. He's canned immediately. And that also explains why we were able to win the North Carolina game, because you have the quarterback's coach calling it. We have our third and fourth string quarterbacks in, and that Winkie is going to be able to call plays that suit the quarterbacks and give them the best chance to win and play to their strengths, which we had our third string, Zach Gibson. He could throw really well, couldn't scramble. And then we had Pumachan, who couldn't throw but could run like the wind. So it was executed beautifully, really, and was just enough for us to pull that victory off there at Chapel Hill. And that was really impressive that we were able to do that. And so hats off to Chris Winkie. He may get promoted to OC. I'd like to see us bring in some, at this point, when we're looking for replacement coaches, it's pretty unlikely that we're going to be able to steal from other Power 5 teams. We, of course, have several vacancies, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. Now, I've been saying this too. The defense played great this year, and we had one of the best defenses I've seen in a long time. So all of that staff was retained. We are losing a few key players, namely Charlie Thomas and A. Sealy, our linebacking duo, the best freaking linebacking duo in the country. And that's not hyperbole. It's true. But we're losing them. But, yeah, Andrew Thacker and company was retained, which was good to see. I agree with that. Brent Key so far is making all of the hires, and I agree with them all. He clearly knows, what's wrong with the staff and what needs to be addressed. And so we have vacancies at offensive line. Obviously, no one was fired there. It was Brent Key who was promoted. So the name I've been hearing for that is the guy at Ole Miss, Apparently, he worked, with Brent Key at Alabama at one point. I think they have like a connection together. So maybe we see that guy come in. Who knows? And then, of course, we have wide receivers coach. No idea how we could go there. Running backs coach, which the running backs coach wasn't fired by Brent Key earlier or this past week. He left whenever Coach Collins left, like a week after Brent Key was named interim. Mike Daniels, our running backs coach, like resigned or something. That was the official word, and nobody really knows the full story as to why. So definitely something behind the scenes, and they were very hush-hush about it and wouldn't really explain why they fired him. So who knows, but we need a new running backs coach. I've heard that Brent Key has been pushing really hard to get Tashard Choice to come back, which would be a slam dunk freaking hire. If he could get Tashard Choice, I mean, that would be insane because that's a really good running back coach. He recruited Jahmyr Gibbs, and, he's over there. Right now he's coaching at Texas, coaching B. John Robinson up, and he's one of the best running backs coaches in the country. So I'd rather have him than freaking Del McGee at Georgia. So if that tells you anything, Tashard Choice is such a beast, such a great recruiter, and such a great coach. And, he was a great running back himself for Georgia Tech back in the day. But he has a pretty good thing going over there at Texas, so who knows? It might not happen, in which case I don't know where we would go. And then, of course, we have offensive coordinator, which is a tough thing to kind of figure out too. I imagine that we're going to be kind of looking at some like hot shot group of 5 coordinators to bring in, and that's kind of where I imagine that Brent Key goes with that. And also, little known, we also have tight ends coach, because our offensive coordinator Chip Long, that was just fired, was also tight ends coach, and our tight ends were sneakily the worst unit on the field, even worse than the offensive line. I don't even know why we bothered putting tight ends in the game. I mean, we could, just put another lineman in there and have him block. Like, the tight ends really did nothing for us this year. I was not impressed at all of any of our tight ends. We brought in this transfer, Luke Benson, one of the worst transfers ever in history. That went pretty poorly. And, it just our tight ends really did us no favors this year, and I don't even know why we throw to them or have them in the game at all. So we need a new tight ends coach. But, of course, that is one of these position groups that is really hard to overhaul, because obviously when Jeff Collins took over, we had 0 tight ends on the roster. So that is pretty much a ground-up build from starting from 0. And it might take a while, but I don't know. I like to see us chill out until we actually have a good tight end. I like to see us chill out on trying to force throwing to the tight end because it almost never goes well. They always drop it or something, and it sucks. So, so that's the word on the staff changes, and Brent Key has really got his work cut out for him. The transfer portal opens here soon. I think tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow, Monday, December 5th, the portal opens, and Brent Key has got his work cut out for him, trying to keep all of these players from transferring. Of course, we already have a couple that are intending to enter their names into it, like Nate McCollum and Jeff Sims, amongst some other that I'm not really that worried about. But this is going to be a tough job for Brent Key. He's going to have to recruit his own roster. He's going to have to get this recruiting class. He's going to have to get this transfer class. And he's going to have to hire an entire staff. So he's probably hair on fire right now. And I wish him nothing but the best because we're in dire straits right now. But I have faith that he's going to be able to put together a staff that is going to be successful at Georgia Tech. He was able to do really well with the staff that, it was like a Jeff Collins staff. So I'm sure whatever guys he gets in here will be, much better and will come out much better after all of this turmoil, so to speak. So anyway, that's all I got on the coaching changes by Brent Key. And go Jackets. I'll see you next time.